Lords of the Night. With me, as always, your Lord of Punishment. Say hi, Scribe.
Hi, Scribe.
And your Lord of Puppies, Pennies. God damn it. Your Lord of Pennies is here as well. Say hello, Satsu.
Puppy pennies, huh? Hello.
Puppy Pennies. That's our new currency.
All right.
And I'm your Lord of Pain, the ranting monkey guy. And we got a great show for you because that's what we do around these parts. We make great shows. Satsu, how you doing today, man?
Pretty good. Chillaxing, having a good time. Just woke up from a nap. We took we all went to sleep together, which was, I don't think it was planned that way. It was just I was chilling with Squeetus and she was laying on my chest and I fell asleep and then Squishy fell asleep. And then we all woke up 30 minutes ago and I'm energized for no damn reason. Because
that's what a nap will do.
Ain't like I got nothing to do tonight. So, yeah.
And, Scribbles, how you doing?
I roughly sang in the direction of Squeetus, so I'm good.
Fair enough. Yeah. I had a mostly good day. The last couple of hours have been rough, but we're not going to talk about that because I don't want to dwell. So, Monkey Dick, Jim Jones movies, video games, hit that like button, you guys, and don't forget to share our stuff. I am excited.
Oh, God. Sorry.
You okay, dude?
Yeah, fucking knock some shit over.
That's what it sounded like. Sounded like some big-ass dominoes falling.
No, my fucking Switch almost fell off the fucking table.
No, not the
Switch. Be careful. I'm excited because tomorrow, Borderlands 3. Can't wait. I've been waiting a few months for this. Not years like most Borderlands players have been waiting, but I feel like I've waited long enough. And yeah, that launches at 7 p.m. tomorrow for PC players, you guys. You console peasants got to wait till midnight. But yeah, so I'll be jumping into that at least a little bit tomorrow to check it out. We stream Friday. Are we going to do that Friday?
Borderlands?
Yeah. We can talk.
Yeah.
We'll see what's going on, you guys. With that, I guess it's newsy time, unless anybody has anything else to say.
Aaliyah is adorable.
She is. She's freaking amazingly cute, man. Scribbles, did we have news today? I'm assuming there was news.
Yeah, I got news. Monkey's got a bad memory.
Ew.
Did he say the monkey dick?
Yes.
No, I didn't.
Yes, I did.
Did he?
Yes,
he did. I thought he did.
Yeah.
Did I miss it? Okay, I got a bad memory then.
Scribe's got a bad memory.
Well, about my bad memory.
I might have been distracted by the message I got telling me that New Fate 26's mother, Debbie, her birthday is today, and tomorrow she's retiring.
Oh.
So we were asked to do a retirement song, but I was like, well, her birthday's tomorrow, but she's also retiring tomorrow. You could kind of make it a combo.
Happy no more working for you.
There you go. Hey, good job, Satsu. Why don't you sing it? Go ahead.
No, I'm good. You got it.
Anyway, so yeah, it's Debbie's birthday and retirement tomorrow.
Okay. Well, Debbie, this is, I believe, I don't know how to do a retirement song. But for birthdays, I do this. And a 1. And a 2.
Happy birthday
to you.
Oh, God, no.
Wow. Happy birthday to you.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Happy
birthday,
dear Debbie.
Dear Debbie.
And have a wonderful retirement.
Yes. No more working, yay.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday and have a wonderful retirement. And I hope they got you some new ears because Scribble just blew mine out. You went Lord Bear on that shit, man.
Did I? I don't even know what he does.
Oh, he gets loud sometimes.
Oh, sorry. I might have my gain up too high. Well, let's see. News. Well, I'm getting Alzheimer's because I forget fuck a tree, and I forget that Mookie said a thing like 3 seconds before I said a thing. But other than that, let's see. The breaking news at CNN was that the Supreme Court has cleared the way for new asylum restrictions to take effect.
Yes.
The Supreme Court cleared the way for the Trump administration's rule that dramatically limits the ability of Central American migrants to claim asylum to go into effect nationwide while the appeals process plays out. Excuse me. Wednesday's order is a major victory for the administration, which argued the rule was necessary to screen out, quote, asylum seekers who decline to request protection at the first opportunity. Quote, big United States Supreme Court win for border on asylum. What?
Satsu, what you doing over there, man?
Trying not to fall out of my chair because I was reaching behind me to grab something.
Oh, okay. I see when I hear ambient noises, I think either something happening around me or something from one of you guys, and I'm never quite sure. All right. Yeah, gosh, because you can't find any other way to do that with me on this show. Oh, that's comforting. Okay. The rule from the Departments of Justice and Homeland Security prohibits migrants who have resided in or traveled through third countries from seeking asylum in the U.S., therefore barring people traveling through Mexico from being able to claim asylum. Through third countries. Maybe that's a term my brain's catching on. Justices Sonia Sotomayor and Ruth Bader Ginsburg noted their dissent. 5 justices were needed to grant the request. The votes of the others were not publicly announced. Why not?
That's odd. Real quick. Thank you, Cryptic. I prefer deportation to a Shark Tank.
Okay, so you'd rather be sent back to your home country than pitch a business to a couple of millionaires?
Sounds like.
Okay. Quote, once again, the executive branch has issued a rule that seeks to upend longstanding practices regarding refugees who seek shelter from persecution, Sotomayor wrote, joined by Ginsburg, later referring to, quote, some of the most vulnerable people in the Western Hemisphere, unquote. Quote, although this nation has long kept its door open to refugees, and although the stakes for asylum seekers could not be higher, the government implemented its rule without first providing the public notice and inviting the public input generally required, Sotomayor added. What? Maybe I'm forgetting something, but I wasn't aware that immigration policy required public input.
It doesn't, as far as I know. Now, if she's talking about the rule changes as far as whether or not they're legal, that's why it's being. I mean, this was just letting it go forward while it's going through appeals.
Yeah.
This wasn't an actual ruling on whether or not this was legal. Was it?
Yes. No. It can go into effect nationwide while the appeals process plays out.
Yeah. All right.
I have no idea what. Again, maybe I'm missing something, but this is. The Supreme Court's order is the latest move in a case that has bounced around between lower courts. Late Tuesday night, a California federal judge's attempt to issue a nationwide injunction on the asylum restrictions was blocked, in part, for the second time, by the 9th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals. I brought this up in my previous TEDx talk video where they're talking about the horrible restrictions that Trump is putting in there. And I'm like, yeah, but they were upheld by, of all places, the 9th Circuit Court of Appeals, which is something to behold, honestly.
Cryptic, thank you again. I request asylum in a third safe country, so F them.
Amid the back and forth, the Justice Department had asked the Supreme Court to step in. In her dissent, Sotomayor criticized both the implementation of the new regulation and the majority for ruling before the Ninth Circuit could fully resolve the government's emergency request to put the district court's injunction on hold. Quote, the court, Sotomayor wrote, sidesteps the ordinary judicial process, unquote. But it just went to the Supreme. I'm confused.
She sounded like she just doesn't like that they ruled on it.
Yeah. Steve Vladek, CNN's Supreme Court analyst and professor at the University of Texas School of Law, agreed the justices are allowing the administration to, quote, jump the queue. Quote, once again, the Supreme Court is allowing a controversial Trump administration policy to go into effect even as the legal challenges to the policy proceed through the lower courts, said Vladek. Is such a thing unusual? Okay, again, not being a legal scholar, is such a thing unusual on its face?
No.
Do we have an example during, let's say, the Obama administration of such a thing?
Nothing that comes to mind. What you usually hear, though, is when you're told that it can't go through, because that's usually an administration being shot down, and that makes a lot better headlines. But no, yeah, I mean. In these injunctions are put in place and removed all the time on cases. One specifically, I couldn't begin to think of at the moment, but yeah, it happens a lot. Sonia Minor, just I think she's on her period. Cult of Krill, thank you so much. Foreigners don't have due process. Ding ding ding.
Yes, they do. They have several. They have many rights. They don't have the right to vote. They don't necessarily have a right to an attorney and other such things, but they do have certain rights under the Constitution, even if they're not from here. And they do have a certain level of due process when it comes to deportation, because you have to go through a deportation court and all that kind of stuff. So it's not, they don't have the same protections as a U.S. citizen, obviously, but they do have several protections. Let's see. Well, then there was something else that happened today, or at least happened today 18 years ago now, which is kind of mind-boggling to me. But
are you about to talk about the thing that time somebody did some stuff?
Yes, that time that some people did a thing and some stuff. Yeah. So I've got two related stories, I suppose. The son of a 9/11 victim criticizes Representative Ilhan Omar and the squad during a speech at Ground Zero. The son of a victim of the September 11th terror attacks criticized Democratic Minnesota Representative Ilhan Omar and the squad during a remembrance ceremony at Ground Zero in New York on Wednesday. Nicholas Harros Jr. of New Jersey wore a shirt that referenced Omar's March remarks before the Council on American Islamic Relations, in which she said, quote, CARE was founded after 9/11 because they recognized that some people did something and that all of us were starting to lose access to our civil liberties, unquote. After reading some victims' names Wednesday at the event commemorating the 18th anniversary of the attacks, Harros Jr. said, quote, some people did something, while pointing at his shirt, on which those words were printed. The moment came as he spoke of his late mother, 76-year-old Frances Harros, as well as friends and coworkers who died in the World Trade Center attacks. Quote, some people did something, said a freshman congresswoman from Minnesota, to support and justify the creation of CARE. Today I'm here to respond to you exactly who did what to whom, he said as some audience members applauded. Madam, objectively speaking, we know who and what was done. There is no uncertainty about that. Why your confusion, unquote. Quote, on that day, 19 Islamic terrorists, members of Al-Qaeda, killed over 3,000 people and caused billions of dollars of economic damage. Is that clear? But as to whom? I was attacked. Your relatives and friends were attacked. Our constitutional freedoms were attacked. And our nation's founding on Judeo-Christian principles was attacked. That's what some people did. Got that now? Unquote. He continued, quote, we are here today, Congresswoman, to tell you and the squad just who did what to whom. Show respect in honoring them, please. American patriotism in your position demand it, unquote. Omar and Representatives Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez of New York, Rashida Tlaib of Michigan, and Ayanna Pressley of Massachusetts have come to be known as the Squad on Capitol Hill. The 4 progressive congresswomen of color have been the focus of intense scrutiny and criticism from President Donald Trump and Republicans and everybody else because they're public figures and they're worthy of it. But anyway, have sparred with House Speaker Nancy Pelosi in their drive to move the Democratic Party leftward and have attracted controversy, most notably over their criticism of the American relationship with Israel. Harros Jr. told CNN on Wednesday that Omar's previous remarks, quote, hurt me personally, my family, and other victims of 9/11 families, quote, unquote, also saying, quote, I felt as a son of a victim to step up and set the record straight, unquote. He said it was the right time to speak out and argued that his comments were not political. Quote, I was not speaking to a woman of color, or a Democrat. They were remarks for a congresswoman who I feel should have sympathy for fellow Americans, he said. Omar's office declined to comment on Harros's criticisms when reached by CNN Wednesday, but earlier Wednesday, Omar tweeted from her personal account that, quote, September 11th was an attack on all of us. Adding, quote, I will continue to fight to make sure we care for the first responders and families who lost loved ones, unquote. A video of Omar expressing how 9/11 attacks affected her was also tweeted from her congressional account. Okay, I'm going to stop there because it goes on for a bit more. But
oh my God. Are people upset that he did this?
Some are.
Because I don't know. I feel like it was appropriate, considering that that's what, the issue or the topic was about at the time. And whenever literally anything happens, there's somebody always finding a reason to insert Trump into the conversation. So it's just like I don't feel like he was out of line. What do you guys think?
I don't think he was out of line because of what she had said. She was trying to excuse CARE, which is a shitbag group, and was absolutely dismissive of it. We talked about it, how dismissive her comments were. Mm-hmm. And it didn't even take that much to not make them be that goddamn what's the word I'm looking for here? Insensitive. You know what I mean? All she had to say is that because of because of what happened on 9/11, bam, no controversy right there, sweetheart. But instead, no, some people did something. We know, and like he said, we know who did it. We know what they did. There's, as far as I know, no rational person has any doubts about what happened that day.
Right.
And yeah, I'm sure it was a little bit awkward for her today as she was out there trying to, because American lawmakers are expected to make comments on these things, and to see that, be like, oh shit, yeah, I'm gonna go hide in the closet for a little while. She'll be fine. But yeah, I have no problem with him doing it.
Scribe?
Yes.
Anything you want to add?
No. Guy standing up and speaking his mind. Yay.
Well, at Fucketry Time, we get to have some fun because we get to talk about the hashtag My 9/11 is every day.
Oh, fuck off.
Aren't you guys excited?
Yeah. You know what I'm really excited for? Mm-hmm. Our favorite friend at CNN, Chris Eliza.
I'm not. Bye.
All right. I saw 2 dumbass things he wrote today.
You know what? I have 2 dumbass things from Chris Eliza.
Oh, shit.
I know, right? Because Chris just knocked it out of the park, not once, but twice. And by knocking it out of the park, I mean being stupid or petty or really trying to spin doctor stuff. But we'll get to that in a moment. So this first one, as related to the previous article. Donald Trump sure has a strange way of commemorating 9/11.
Oh, God, I saw that one.
Okay, so I'm not quite sure what Chris has to tell us, but let's find out. Empathy has never been a strong suit for Donald Trump. Okay, there's your premise. Let's continue, Chris. Even as president, he tends to see everything through a simple lens. Me, and how does this affect, well, me? Which brings you, to Wednesday morning and the 18th anniversary of the terrorist attacks on September 11th, 2001. Trump started his day, as he so often does, on Twitter. Chris, what do you do? What was your earliest tweet today, Chris? Anyway. And even as 8:46 a.m. approached, the exact time the first plane hit the World Trade Center, Trump kept at it. Quote, in a hypothetical poll done by one of the worst pollsters of them all, the Amazon Washington Post ABC, which predicted I would lose to crooked Hillary by 15 points. How did that work out? Sleepy Joe, Pocahontas, and virtually all others would beat me in the general election, tweeted Trump at 8:12 a.m. This is a phony suppression poll meant to build up their Democratic partners. I haven't even started campaigning yet. That's an absolute lie. But anyway, and I'm constantly fighting fake news like Russia. Look at North Carolina last night. Dan Bishop, down big in the polls, wins, easier than 2016, unquote. And then in parentheses, Chris says, the poll in question, conducted by the Washington Post and ABC News, showed Trump trailing former Vice President Joe Biden by 15 points. Yeah. And what did Trump say in the tweet? That the other poll from back then predicted he would lose to Hillary by 15 points. Okay, maybe I'm... but he wasn't done. Quote, if it weren't for the never-ending fake news about me, and with all that I have done, more than any other president in the first 2.5 years, I would be leading the partners of the lamestream media by 20 points. Sorry, but true, he tweeted at 8:19 a.m. Once Trump got to the Pentagon to lay a wreath at the site of the memorial to those lost when a plane hit the building 18 years ago, he quickly turned the subject to himself. Quote, I vividly remember when I first heard the news, Trump said. Chris, how many people sit around and say, where were you when 9/11 happened?
There's literally a hashtag for it. There have been almost everybody on Twitter has been talking about either what happened, how it impacted them that day, what they remember, commemorating people who were affected by it. But it's Trump, so he's not allowed to.
Yeah, Chris, this was a national tragedy. Even people who weren't directly affected by it were affected by it. And if you ask, it's like when my parents talked about where were you when Kennedy was shot, So if you're going to criticize Trump for talking about where he was or what he was doing or how it affected him when he heard the news, if that's a criticism, you've got a lot of people to criticize. But I'll continue. Quote, I was sitting at home watching a major business television show. Early that morning, Jack Welch, the legendary head of General Electric, was about to be interviewed when all of a sudden they cut away. It was a boiler fire, but I knew that boilers weren't at the top of a building. It was a kitchen explosion at the windows on the World. Nobody knew what happened, before adding that he, quote, saw a second plane go into the second tower from his office window in Midtown Manhattan. Later in the speech, Trump sidetracked to talk about his decision to cancel planned talks with the Taliban at Camp David. Quote, we have hit our enemy harder than they have ever been hurt before, and that will continue, Trump pledged, while adding that while the U.S. would not use nuclear power in Afghanistan, that, quote, they have never seen anything like what will happen to them, unquote. Okay. While there are some elements of where were you when-ism that go around the internet on every anniversary of the 9/11 terror attacks, it's striking the extent to which the President of the United States, speaking to a group of victims' families, looked inward. Is it? Yes, he talked about what he was doing that day, what he was watching on TV, what he thought had happened. But then his latest drama on how he decided to cancel the talks with the Taliban.
Chris doesn't seem to understand why the Taliban would be relevant here.
Yeah, with the criticisms he's been getting recently about the timing of his planned talks with the Taliban in relation to 9/11 as an insensitivity, You don't think maybe on the anniversary of he's bolstering his attitude towards the enemies that kind of made that happen? I mean, he might be trying to save face, I'll give you that, but why is that somehow out of the ordinary, Chris? Oh, and here's the next sentence. That plus his inability to control himself from lashing out on Twitter about polling that suggested he might lose in 2020 speaks to something deeply true about Donald Trump. He is someone, unlike our past presidents of both parties, who rarely puts himself into someone else's shoes. He likes his comfortable and expensive loafers very much, thank you. That lack of empathy was, in the eyes of many longtime political observers, Trump's Achilles heel. I can't even tell you the number of conversations I had during the course of the 2016 campaign in which politicos predicted that Americans would never elect someone who couldn't, in the words of Bill Clinton, feel your pain. Except that voters didn't care. This is taking a very odd tangent, Chris, okay? Except that voters didn't care. Or more accurately, they cared about other things more. Just 15% of voters in 2016 said that a candidate who, quote unquote, cares about me was the most important quality in deciding their vote. Hillary Clinton won that group by 23 points. Trump still won. Hey, Chris, maybe it's because people don't give a shit about having somebody in the office that cares about them so much as they get their job done. I'm not saying that Trump's done that, but if I'm talking about considerations of pragmatism, I don't care if I can or can't have a beer with the guy. I just want somebody in the office that's doing their job. So voters knew what they were getting, but at solemn moments like today, it's hard not to be struck by just how different Donald Trump acts as president, literally, from every person who has held the office before. Okay, if there's one thing I want to stop hearing, and I know I'm not going to stop hearing about it between now and 4 years from now because Trump's going to get reelected at this rate, it's that Donald Trump doesn't act like any president before Donald Trump. Yeah, we know. You know why? Donald Trump is one of the few people who was elected to office never having served public office before. He's the only person ever elected to the presidency who was in his previous job was a game show host. I don't know why you keep talking like this, like it's some kind of revelation or that we should be shocked or something. Trust me, I'm not jazzed with it personally, but come up with something new, Chris. And okay, I'm done.
Well, even with that, Chris's biggest complaint there is that Donald Trump was tweeting stuff in the morning seemingly because it wasn't about 9/11.
Yeah.
9/11 was 18 years ago now. And still, hashtag never forget. I'm with you on that. But I feel the same way about Pearl Harbor. And I know lots of people who go every December 7th without giving a fuck about it. I've never seen Chris write anything about that. I guess it's just this one because Trump didn't do it how he wanted him to. This is the first one of Chris's that I read today, and it's like, you just want to hate the man. So why don't you just write that in your little blog post there, Chris? I don't like Donald Trump. Just write that over and over and over again, and just call it a day at that. I mean, you actually go in there and you bitch. Oh my God, people said that they don't care about a candidate who cares about them. And then they elected Trump. What happened? Shut up, douche.
Yeah, voters lack empathy. The voters don't care because they didn't vote for the person who scored better on the does she care? I mean, seriously, Hillary Clinton caring about anybody but Hillary Clinton? Come on.
From the same polls that gave us Hillary Clinton going to be our next president. Yeah. Throwing that out there, Chris.
But Chris wasn't done today. No, he wasn't done. Because, even though it was 9/11, Chris couldn't help but write about things that didn't have to do with 9/11. Oh, gosh, maybe he's a bad person. No, I don't think so. But for those of you that weren't aware, there was a special election that was held yesterday, or last night, I should say, that was titled to be a bellwether of 2020. It was a preview of 2020. Would Trump's supremacy in certain parts of the nation hold up against the backlash to his administration? And this election was to be a signal as to where things were going to be headed going into 2020. There was even, and I wish I could quote this directly. Sorry, 1 second. I got to check my phone, and then I will say the thing that is really funny from CBS. Okay. There was a report last night ahead of the election from CBS where the reporter said, the thing to look out for in this election is whether or not the Republicans can win without cheating. Like, what?
Well, that was based on why they had the special election.
Yeah, that was the lead-in to the report on the election, because why they're having the special election is, there was ballot, there was voter fraud and stuff like that. And so, can they win without cheating? It's like, well, they did.
Well, it was amazing to me, and I'll let you get to the article in just a second, but I saw all kinds of stuff leading up to this. And then the results came in, and I haven't seen very many articles at all about it being a bellwether anymore.
Yeah, I know.
It got real quiet real fast.
Let's see. So this is what Chris had to say about it. I wish, was there a Chris article talking about this before it happened? Oh, we're already into the next part of the show. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. Let's do this real quick, at least part of it, because it's a teaching moment.
Okay. Donald Trump's wild and baseless claims about his North Carolina intervention. Remember, guys, this was a bellwether for 2020. There's no doubt that the last-minute campaign stop by President Donald Trump on Monday helped Republican Dan Bishop squeak to victory in Tuesday's North Carolina special election. Bishop said as much himself on CNN on Wednesday, quote, "We were far behind. We were making progress, but the president and Vice President Pence coming in, I think it put us over the top," unquote. Look at the number. Okay.
No, I mean, that compared to what Chris was saying there, I mean, go ahead. I'm sorry.
A look at the numbers suggests that's, broadly speaking, right. While Bishop struggled in the more suburban parts of the 9th District, he cleaned up in the more rural parts, areas where Trump's appeal remains as strong, if not stronger, than when he was first elected in 2016. All of which makes this a nice enough story for Trump, even though there were ominous clouds in Bishop's win. Claim victory and move on. What were the ominous clouds in Bishop's win this link takes me to? House Republicans escaped disaster in North Carolina, but, says Chris Eliza, on Tuesday night, Republicans escaped a cataclysm. Or Democrats experienced one? Maybe. Republican Dan Bishop beat Democrat Dan McCready in a special election, North Carolina's 9th District, an outcome that, given the clear Republican lean of the suburban Charlotte District, should have been a layup for the GOP. Bishop won by 2 points after both national parties spent more than $10 million in the district. Okay, well, Chris, by an inch or by a mile? I mean, you can extrapolate from that all you want into 2020, I guess, but you guys were talking about this like as soon as Bishop loses this, Trump's over. Anyway.
And that's the part. This was set up because there were a lot of folks in the press. I'm going to say it. It's our fucking biased press. They were waiting for this because if Bishop had lost, it'd be like, look how horrible the Republicans are doing. Bishop ended up winning even after the special election came because of irregularities. So many irregularities and suggestions of cheating that the state board refused to certify the election, so they had to do it again. Pyrrhus, the Republican one, there were actually 2 elections down there in North Carolina that were both won by the Republicans. But yeah, now it's suddenly like, oh wait, yeah, look, even though the Republicans won, it still shows how hard things are going to be, and how it's like, Jesus fuck, could you get out of the Democrats' ass for just a second, Chris? Just for a tiny fucking second. Just for a moment, pretend that you're an actual fucking journalist. But no, he's a paid DNC shill. I mean, he does work for CNN. But yeah, I enjoyed this article as I was reading it. Like I even asked Chris over on the Twitter, and I doubt he'll answer me. Like, be honest, you had the article already written up for when the Republicans lost, didn't you? And you had to save face and figure out how to make that win a loss. Anything else to add there, gentlemen?
Nope.
Nope.
Sounds about right.
We're going to go ahead and move this on to MSS News time. Guys, if there's a story you'd like us to take a look at, hit us up at the hashtag MSS News over on the Twitter machine. We can't get to them all, but that's just because Chris Liz is a douche.
Douche.
Don't you just say Scribe?
Scribe.
You know, like tossing it to me like
You know
I'm the weatherman or something.
I absolutely forgot. And then there was like that silence. I'm like, oh shit, I'm supposed to say Scribe. But then
I just wanted to make sure you remember who I was.
I absolutely forgot, but then I remembered. So
yeah, well, yeah, I forgive you because I had my forgetful moment tonight. So
well, thank you.
You're welcome. Let's see, which one of these I want to. Mr. Monopoly sent us several different stories. Let's do this one. This one comes from Mr. Monopoly, as I said. Internal DOJ memo cleared Flynn of being a Russian agent, but it's missing, his attorneys say. Can't they just print off another copy? Former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn's legal team charged in court Tuesday that the Department of Justice cleared Flynn of being a Russian agent in a memo as far back as January 2017, but that prosecutors still haven't produced the document. The claim came as Flynn's lawyers said in a status conference in a Washington, D.C. courthouse that they are now seeking to have the case against him thrown out, accusing the prosecution of, quote, egregious conduct and suppression, unquote, of possibly exculpatory evidence. Quote, we've learned that there was a letter dated January 30th, 2017, or an internal memo from the Justice Department that completely exonerates Mr. Flynn of being an agent of Russia, and that document has not been produced to us yet. How do you know it exists then? I'm curious.
Yeah, maybe somebody told him about it.
I guess. Lawyer Sidney Powell said, according to a transcript of Tuesday's hearing obtained by Fox News. Powell continued, so they had a lot of information that they didn't disclose. They also have knowledge of a letter from the British Embassy that completely discredits Trump dossier author Christopher Steele and undoes the whole Steele dossier debacle, unquote. Fox News learned about the memo's existence last week. Okay, how? I'm going to the Fox News link here. Okay, then Deputy FBI Director Andrew McCabe told the White House in early February 2017 that the Bureau was not considering the National Security Advisor at the time, Michael Flynn, for a potential Logan Act prosecution over conversations with the Russian ambassador before Donald Trump was sworn in as president. McCabe was referring to the rarely prosecuted 200-year-old statute that bars American citizens from engaging with a foreign government without authorization from the current U.S. government. Yeah, so somewhere in McCabe's testimony, there was indications there was some kind of memo that said this.
Huh.
Okay, well, if such a thing exists, then, the question is, did the prosecution know about it? And if they did, and they didn't disclose in discovery, then, yeah, they fucked up. But
I don't understand what Flynn's lawyers are. I thought Flynn pled guilty.
Yeah.
He pled guilty to lying to FBI, if I remember this correctly.
Yeah, so I don't know exactly what this does. I mean, I suppose save his reputation legally or something for any further prosecution or whatever.
Huh.
But yeah, if he still lied to the authorities, he still lied to the authorities. I'm not sure. Holy cow. Mr. Monopoly just like spammed us with stories, so I got to scroll down a bit.
Real quick, Random said, didn't he withdraw the plea? I don't know. So maybe that's what it is. I'll have to look into it. Anyway, sorry, Scribe.
Let's see. This one comes from senior staff reporter and chief corruption correspondent, Colleen Bernier. She warns me there is an autoplay thing that happens, but I've turned that off in my browser, so it shouldn't happen to me, right? No, it does. But thankfully it's muted. Fall River Mayor. I keep want to say Fall River City, like River City Ransom. Remember that game?
I've heard of it.
Yeah. Mayor, I will not stop doing my job amid city council vote. Okay, so yeah, this is the guy that was just ousted, but now apparently he's not ousting himself. A day after he was temporarily ousted by the Fall River City Council, embattled Mayor Jaziel, whatever, Correa, announced Wednesday he would not be leaving his post. The city council voted 8-1 Tuesday night to temporarily remove him from office as he faces federal extortion charges. Correa argues the council does not have the legal standing to remove him. Quote, we should never suggest that they, 8 individuals, can deem that I can't perform my duties as mayor, Correa told reporters on the 6th floor of the government center. He contends the vote was, quote, a great political stunt. Correa argues he is still able to perform his duties as mayor, and the council is misconstruing the section of the city charter being utilized to oust him. Quote, the section they're referring to talks about sickness. It talks about an inability to do the duties as mayor, and that is not the case, Correa said. The vote came 1 week before Correa is set to face 2 opponents, Paul Coogan and Erica Scott Pacheco, in the city's September 17th preliminary election for mayor. The top 2 candidates will move on to the general election on November 5th. Correa, 27, was arrested Friday for the 2nd time in less than a year. He's accused of extorting hundreds of thousands of dollars from marijuana vendors. Yeah. Well, if he's right, I guess he's right. At the same time, God, that town is fucked up.
Well, and I haven't seen the statute, so I don't know, but dude, just go sit down. Just go sit down. You got enough eyes on you now, don't you? Maybe he has some more payments coming in from the marijuana vendors he wants to get.
I would ask what he's been smoking, but I think I know.
I think we know, yeah. Yeah, this motherfucker's going to go to jail for a long, long time. He better just sit down and shut up, dude. Don't you have a lawyer? That dude should be
apparently not a good one.
No shit. Like, look, like,
well, with $600,000 of extorted money, you think you could afford a good attorney.
Yeah, no shit.
This one comes from Frosted Glass. And, you know, even before I looked and saw where this story was coming from, I thought to myself sort of reflexively, that reads like a Vice headline. And what do you know? It's from Vice. All right, get ready. Hold on to your horses, guys. The craft beer community is finally trying to tackle its race problem.
Oh, God.
After a virulently racist email was sent to a black beer writer suggesting she didn't belong in the industry, the beer world is rallying around her online. Didn't belong in the industry because she's black? Is that what it was? I don't know. In the 2 years since Shalonda White launched Afro Beer Chick, a blog centered around her experiences enjoying craft beer as a black woman. She says that she's never had any real heated exchanges with anyone on social media. But on September 9th, she received an unprovoked email from a stranger. A stranger, you say? Okay. Okay, so the message, and just to avoid the possibility that saying this stuff will get monkey demonetized or something, even though I know we already are, but, you know, I'm just nice like that. You are just a stupid N-word that do not know shit about drinking beer. N-words do not belong in this industry because you are a bunch of whiny assholes. Go away, you stupid N-word bitch. And she said, well, you seem so upset. Want to have a beer and a discussion? I can't take you serious when you hide behind technology.
Sounds like it was written by a 13-year-old.
Yeah.
Let's see. White turned to Twitter to discuss the incident with her few thousand followers at Afro Beer Chick. Quote, it appears... well, if it's a direct quote, maybe she did start the sentence in a lowercase. I don't know. It appears my existence is bothering someone, she quipped lightheartedly. Within minutes, an outpouring of support flooded her feed from hundreds of people disgusted with the blatantly racist message, which seemed to come from nowhere. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Seemed to have come from nowhere.
So, let me get this straight. There was this huge embedded problem that they have been avoiding tackling for a really long time.
Yeah.
And randomly, some black chick who has probably had this blog for some time now got a random message that possibly came out of nowhere. And all these people who had no interest in tackling this embedded race problem that has been existing for quite some time now, all of a sudden at that moment decided we need to make a change, and then all just rallied toward this cause right then.
Yeah, and there's nothing to indicate that whoever this person was has anything to do with the craft brewing industry.
Yeah, they have no idea what the identity of this person is at all. Just a random. She could have said that shit to herself.
Oh, well, here.
Cryptic, thank you. X to doubt, liar. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Dr. J. Jackson Beckham, diversity ambassador at Brewers Association, founder of Craft Beer for All, and assistant professor of communication studies and beer scholar at Randolph College in Lynchburg, Virginia. Did you say Lynch? Oh. Watched White's feed fill up with sentiments of horror and solidarity. Within a few hours, she decided to channel the anger she was feeling into something tangible. Quote, silence cannot combat racism. Only anti-racism can do that.
Well, Antifa has taught us that is not true. So.
I want to demonstrate what an inclusive hashtag craft beer community looks like, she tweeted. Number 1, take a selfie. Number 2, tell us something about your wonderful, complex individual self. Number 3, tag your post with hashtag I am craft beer. Let's create a huge, enduring reminder of the incredible diversity in our community. Here we go, ...
Okay, so that should have been impossible to do if they're just now tackling their race problem. Remember, there's an existing race problem that needs to be addressed. So if they have it and it hasn't been tackled, then there's no way they can rally up a whole bunch of supposedly diverse people to do this thing that they want to do because they don't exist yet. Remember, we still have a race problem.
I want to see the header on the original email.
So I'm going to skip down and summarize. We have other stories. They finally get down and tell us where the race problem exists. So apparently a study was conducted, if you can believe it, from the Brewers Association, a nonprofit group dedicated to promoting craft beer. They did a study called Brewery Diversity Benchmarking, a Foundation for Change. Craft beer is overwhelmingly white and male. Based on their data, 88.4% of brewery owners are white, with only 1% of brewery owners identifying as black. The role with the highest percentage of black employees are non-managerial production staff, which is less than 5%.
Identifying as black?
Yeah, identifying as black.
All right.
So the reason that there are some
problem.
Yeah, I was about to say the reason that there are fewer black brewers is because of racism, or there's just fewer black brewers?
There's just fewer black brewers from what that says. That doesn't say there's a racist problem.
Yeah, but there clearly is because we need it to be because
yeah, it's the God of the gaps method of socially conscious statistical analysis. If one group is smaller than the other group, then the obvious cause is oppression, suppression, marginalization, racism, sex. You fill in the blank, whatever the worst possible descriptor. That's the excuse. That's why the wage gap argument continues and everything else.
I can fix this. Can
you?
I can.
With beer?
I can fix this whole problem.
Okay, go on.
What was it? Was 7? How many? What was the percentage of white brewers?
88.4% are white and male.
All right. We need those. We need 75% of that 88% just identifies black.
Wait. Are you calling for the Dolezal solution?
Hey, they told me the black people identified as black, that they didn't say they were black.
That's true. All right. So just like you identifying as a lesbian to avoid YouTube's wrath.
What are you talking about? I'm actually a lesbian.
Oh yeah, you love women, don't you?
Are you questioning my lived experience? How dare you, sir?
Oh, I dare.
Well, Monkey, according to the new rules, you can't be a lesbian because lesbianism has nothing to do with genitalia.
All right.
I'm a non-binary lesbian.
My head hurts. Okay, moving on. Let's see. This one comes from TM Writer. The most powerful electric eel ever discovered by scientists has been discovered.
What? Okay.
A previously undiscovered species of electric eel, which delivers a shock with more than 3 times the voltage of a domestic plug socket, has been discovered in the Amazon rainforest. The enormous 2.5 meter eel has been named the Electrophorus Voltae after Alessandro Volta, the Italian physicist who invented the battery. The animal, a type of knife fish, can discharge an electric shock reaching as high as 860 volts, the most powerful of any animal known to science. Well, now we have to breed them to power our cities. All right?
That's right. Make an army of them. That'll fix our problem.
Oh, no. Quote, it's quite literally shocking when you discover new diversity in such an eye-catching fish first described 250 years ago. Lead author of the research paper, Carlos David de Santana, from the U.S. National Museum of Natural History, told the New York Times. It's quite literally shocking, you say?
Dear Lord.
All right. Well, according to Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man 2, we just need a few of those and we can make anybody into Electro.
We need those to power electric cars.
Ooh, can you imagine a eel-powered car? Like you get a big water tank on the back of your car and they just like run around in there and power the battery. That'd be cool.
Cryptic, thank you. Said we should breed them and release them in the Rio Grande.
Oh. Let's see. This one comes from Three Sided Coin. And strangely enough, it has to do with finances, if you can believe it.
No way.
Thousands of people without paychecks after sudden closure of payroll company. Uh-oh.
Yikes.
That sucks.
The sudden closing of a payroll company has caused paychecks to vanish from bank accounts of thousands of people around the country, including hundreds in Western Pennsylvania. My Payroll HR, a New York company, serves hundreds of companies. Okay. One of them is LotN Home Care of Forest Hills, where 130 employees are still trying to find out what happened to their paychecks. Last week, LotN employee Cindy Forbach's paycheck disappeared just hours after it was deposited into her bank account. If it's already been deposited, how? What? Quote,
it's like when you have a pending transaction.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
quote,
if you have direct deposit, that can happen.
Okay. Quote, I checked my bank account and the money was gone, Forbach said. They took it all back. Forbach said many employees are struggling. Quote, people can't pay their rent. They can't buy food for their kids, she said. The payroll mishap happened the same day Forbach received an email from My Payroll HR saying the company was closing and clients needed to find other ways to process their checks. She called the payroll company but got no answers. LotN president Bob LotN had to write payroll checks the old-fashioned way for employees who were desperate to be paid. Quote, a lot of these people live paycheck to paycheck and they didn't have the money in their accounts to cover the reversal, so they've been getting hit with fees left and right, Forbach said. Well, those should go to the closing company, in my opinion, by the way.
Absolutely.
Overdraft fees are no fucking joke, guys.
No kidding. Let's see. One of them was Nicole Fravolt of Latrobe. Quote, without the money coming in, that's going to create more late payments, any late fees that may accrue, and that's eventually going to affect your credit, Fravolt said. Yeah, so let's see. The FBI and the U.S. Attorney General's office the U.S. Attorney's office in Albany, New York, are now investigating, according to officials at Cachet Financial, which is a middleman in these payroll cases. They say more than 1,000 companies nationwide are likely involved. Not mine, thankfully, because I get paid straight from the boss, as it were. So that sucks for them, though. I hope they are able to recoup everything.
Won't.
Well,
Sucks. Three-sided coin. Thank you. I used a Pittsburgh local site, but this is a nationwide HR company. There are hundreds of articles by local papers about small businesses all over the country. The CEO disappeared with $35 million.
Jeez. Did he go to Fall River by any chance? Okay. I'll do one more, I guess. Sure.
Yeah.
This one comes from Desert Tramp. Let me get this here. Okay. Judge tells quote unquote immature woman 20 to choose her lovers more wisely after she tried to pay a couple hundreds of pounds if they deliberately failed to pick her knifeman boyfriend out of an ID parade. I'm confused. A judge told an immature woman to choose her lovers more wisely. Misha McCafferty, 20, tried to sabotage an investigation after her partner hurled a glass at a nightclub manager and threatened a couple with a meat cleaver. Her boyfriend, Thomas Britzman, 25, was jailed for 2 years and 4 months at Reading Crown Court in Berkshire. However, McCafferty avoided serving time for perverting the course of justice and was handed a 9-month sentence suspended for 18 months. Okay. Britzman was arrested on November 24th last year after he attacked Piero Pagliarol, the owner and manager of Paggy's Wine Bar in Thatcham, Berkshire, with a glass, a wine bottle, and a plank of wood. He was then seen to pick up an empty 3-foot CO2 canister, which he hurled across the bar's smoking area, shattering glasses before fleeing the scene. Prosecutor Sean Espett said Britzman later approached a couple, Josh Rampton and Bethany Peace, who were sat in their car at 1 a.m. in the Thatcham Memorial Hall car park. He then produced a meat cleaver, which he waved in front of Mr. Rampton's face before grabbing him around the throat and punching him in the eye. The following afternoon, after Britzman had been arrested and his abandoned meat cleaver had been recovered by police, Miss Peace received a Facebook message out of the blue, the court heard, from McCafferty, who she had been at school with. Okay. It said, quote, "Hi, have you been in Thatcham recently? Give me a phone call and I can explain why. Nothing bad, hun." Mr. Espert said, quote, "She, McCafferty, went on to say that she would pay both of them a couple £100 each in order to fail to make an identification at the impending police ID lineup." I should say lineup. They say parade in the UK. The offer was refused. Okay, so she tried to bribe the witnesses to not get her boyfriend in trouble. Okay, that makes more sense now. But she was caught, and so she loses. Sort of.
Mm-hmm.
Ta-da! And yeah, it's like, why you're an idiot for let's defend this moron. So there you go. Ta-da!
Yeah, I don't know why. Me and Squishy were watching CSI or whatever, and there was like this theme for whatever reason, like 4 episodes in a row of these chicks with these fucking psycho dudes, and every time they're just like your boyfriend or your husband or whatever is doing this thing, like, and we need to stop him. He raped like 4 women, and she's like, "But I love him." And Squishy was just like, "Where the fuck are all these simple bitches? Like, where are they finding them at? Like, I don't understand why women are so willing to just be like, yep, I know 100% this guy is horrible and terrible, but it's fine." It's cool.
It's codependency. It's the I can fix him syndrome. It's a whole bunch of things.
It's desperation and loneliness and all of that stuff.
It's also it's oftentimes also a matter of low self-esteem on their part. Like they can't do any better, or this is as good as it's going to get, or something like that. So, yeah.
Well, look how many women go out there and sell their ass for a pimp to take all their money.
Yeah.
Is that any better?
Okay.
And then to get their ass beat if they don't give enough money. Oh man, bitch, better have my money. With that, guys, thank you so much for the submissions. We can't get to every story because you guys are so generous with your
prolific.
Prolific. Thank you.
Prolific.
But with that, we're going to move on to the next part of our show, which we like to call YouTube time. Satsu, what did you do for YouTube time?
Well, I cooked something that I've never cooked before today.
Dog?
No.
Oh.
Yes.
No, Cryptic, where are you?
No. Well, I've had them when I go to restaurants and stuff and other places. You can buy them frozen, like fried mushrooms or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just like, there's no reason for me not to be able to make this at home. So maybe I'll give it a shot because it's just not something that I considered. And unfortunately, I didn't record it because I'm like, there's a high probability I might fuck this up. They came out fucking perfect, like better than any restaurant I've ever had them. And I was like, God damn it, I didn't record any of it. So
thank you, Cryptic, who said you rang. And did you tell us what it was, Satsu?
Yeah, it was fried mushrooms.
You said fried
mushrooms.
I
didn't hear that part. I'm sorry.
Now it's your turn not to hear what someone else said. Yay, I don't feel so bad now.
Yeah, and it was actually really good. So I still have some mushrooms left. So maybe I'll do like a short, kind of not really like super in-depth video. But here are the ingredients. This is what I did. This is how it turned out thing. Because it was pretty good. I was actually quite surprised with the results. Outside of that, should be a cooking video dropping tomorrow, something kind of random that I made. That should be going up. And then Borderlands 3 is coming out tomorrow, 7 p.m. Me and Monkey are probably going to be streaming it, or at least that's kind of the plan. We'll have to see, because you guys know I got to go through the motions and set it up and make sure that's working on my computer and get OBS to fucking figure it out and all that shit. So got to make sure all that stuff is good to go. Outside of that, me and Monkey were talking about or discussing playing some old school Genesis games.
Oh yeah,
because we got the collection thing or whatever, and you can play multiplayer co-op with other people online instead of just local, like a lot of those games are. So me and Monkey were talking about doing some streams like that, some little one-offs, just to kind of mix things up.
We were fucking around in Streets of Rage yesterday. I kept beating his little woman's ass on accident.
Yeah, he kept fucking assaulting me. I'm like, Monkey, we have to kill the enemies, and they just walk up behind me and grab me inappropriately, like the fucking.
It wasn't my fault. If I got near you, he just grabbed you.
Yeah, whatever. So yeah, we have the Sega Mega Drive and Genesis Classics collection, and there's a fuck ton of games on there. So that'll be fun. I think that'll be a good little side distraction. Outside of that, same old shit. The same things that were pending before are still pending now. And I'm trying to get to as much as I can, as quickly as I can. Otherwise, that's pretty much it.
Alrighty, and Scribbles, what about you?
I posted my latest TEDx video today. That's a former police chief talking about how the physical training requirements for women in police forces are totes unfair and standards need to be lowered so that the rate of 13% of women across the United States in law enforcement goes up, because more women automatically make everything better in police situations.
Yes.
They're able to solve all problems without violence, and you don't need physical ability if you've got negotiation skills and communication skills.
They got them nipples, yo.
And that 13% of women who have already passed all the physical standards tests and everything that she wants to lower, just sort of downplay their accomplishments or their ability to keep up with the standards. Yeah, just lower it for everybody else, because the reason that there's so few women in law enforcement is obviously sexism. I was talking about earlier, the God of the Gaps theory of statistical analysis. There's not enough of our preferred demographic in whatever area, therefore it's sexism or it's something awful doing it.
Yeah, it's obvious that having less physically capable people out there on the streets is the solution to our crime problem.
So all we gotta do is get some big bitches. Get a whole bunch of bull dykes out there. They can do it. They'll just scare the criminals straight.
But yeah, that's what I put out there. I got a whole bunch of really good feedback from people. I had somebody in there who, I am losing my voice, guys. I'm sorry. I'll be back in a second.
Sure. YouTube time. I didn't do anything other than my stream this morning, which I had a lot of fun with. Prospero came and hung out with us. She hadn't been with us for a while. We had a very, very good stream, lots of fun and stuff. And then we brought it down at the end just to talk about 9/11 a little bit because, you know, it was today. So we discussed that a little bit. And yeah, it was a really good show. I enjoyed that one.
I'm sorry about that. I don't know what the hell happened.
Oh, you're fine, man.
Caught in my throat. I got a lot of good feedback on the video already from, I think her name is Valerie Rogers. She spoke as though, or he, Valerie can be a boy's name, but I won't assume genders. Long comment reply on the video talking about the ins and outs of actual training in police and all that. And everybody's has been a really great feedback on that video, and I really appreciate everybody's comments. But yeah, no, she was talking absolute nonsense for her entire presentation, like left, right, and center. Never offered any actual information or references. Never gave any explanation or entertained any thoughts besides the fact that the physical requirements are just so stringent. That's why women aren't getting into law enforcement, and that's being done intentionally. Like, yeah, it's probably got nothing to do with, I don't know, the danger of the job, the stress of the job, the uncertain hours with the job and trying to raise a family, etc. And honestly, like I said in there, if you're really wanting to go into law enforcement and you get to the police academy or whatever, and you're not already prepared to pass the requirements that you should already be aware of, you're not as dedicated as you say you are. And if you can't make the cut, you can't make the cut. That's just life. Even if it was a man that couldn't make the cut, he wouldn't make the cut. So yeah, it was just a very frustrating video to listen to, and just like, really, this is what you want to do? Because I keep thinking back to that situation in New York Fire Department where they lowered the standards because that one lady complained enough. Yeah. So anyway, that was my video.
Michael, thank you so much. Most of the bull dykes are already in prison. Do you mean as guards or in jail? Yeah, I did my monkey in the morning. I didn't do anything else today. I was going to stream, but man, we had a monsoon come through Michigan today. It was horrible out like all damn day. Thunderstorms. I heard there were in 2 counties nearby, there were tornadoes that touched down.
Jesus.
Yeah, it was an ugly day. Wisconsin sent some nasty shit at us, and fuck y'all. But yeah, so no game stream, and I'm not going to do one tonight, guys. I am so goddamn tired right now. That when we're done here, Monkey's going to go lay his ass in bed and sleep like a normal person. So Monkey in the morning will be in the morning.
Oh my God. What a concept.
Well, I've done several of them that way recently, and last night was the first time I've done one in the early AM hours, as it were. I think I started last night around 4. Maybe it was around 3:30, which I haven't done in a while. So it was nice to get back to that time frame, though. I like jumping around, mostly just to annoy my audience. Because like, you never do this at the same time. It's like, oh, you're just catching up.
Welcome to the world.
Welcome to Monkey's world. Monkey's sleep takes priority, you bastard. Not usually, not for me. I mean, but here in about 15 minutes, I'm going to take my medicine. I've put it off for the last hour and a half when I probably should have taken it right before we started. And I took my Motrin, but I didn't take my gabapentin. I'm going to take that shit. And then that should be kicking in right as we get off the show. So I should be able to just go lay down and go to sleep like a normal person. And I know it's not going to happen. I know it's not. But I believe in the power of positive thinking.
For some reason.
Exactly. Mostly just to annoy you. But no, so yeah, we did have a good Monkey in the Morning yesterday. Check that out if you guys haven't seen it. That brings us to fucketry. Satsu, what you got on the humpetry front?
Well, the one thing I saw is CNN's reality check today. It was America's 9/11 amnesia, and one of the slides says right wingers are America's deadliest terrorists. And this is what they're pushing on 9/11. Just to give you a reality check to let you know, like, yeah, okay, some people did some stuff, but white people are way more dangerous. Just in case you guys didn't know.
Get your shit together, honkies.
That's what CNN's doing today, which is yeah. Also, this whole PewDiePie situation, I don't know a lot of information about it, honestly, because I tried. I gave it a genuine like 30 seconds of like full blown effort to give a single fuck, and I couldn't do it. But the comments and stuff that I'm hearing and just reading about, people upset that he gave the money and what everybody's conspiracy theories is on why he gave the money to the ADL. Is that the name of the company?
Yep, it's the Anti-Defamation League. Yeah,
right. It's I don't know, and I've even seen some like hashtag unsubscribe from PewDiePie shit cropping up. I'm like, dude, he's got 100 million subscribers. Like, I highly doubt whatever fucking handful of people you're gonna get to join your little crusade is going to really matter all that much. I don't know. Like, honestly, I really don't know the story behind it, and I'm just not interested enough to look. I just can't seem to figure out why this is such a huge issue. I mean, I know the ADL's shit. Like, I know they are. And I know they have actually tried to fucking, like, shut him down and have had their hand in a bunch of shit, that's unsavory. But it's just like, who cares? That shit is a drop in the bucket, man. Fucking PewDiePie could trip and $50,000 fall out his pocket. And he'd be like, oh, well, I don't want to exert the effort to bend over and pick that up. Like, it's fine. I don't know. Everybody's saying it's hush money. I've been seeing some people say it's hush money because maybe they got something on him. I don't know. I have no idea. All I know is it's just it's all kind of ridiculous. But like I said, I can't really speak on it too much because I don't know enough. There's a lot of people who have probably way more information than I do. So if you guys know more, that's great. But I don't know.
All I've seen of it is exactly what you've said, is that the ADL was, I don't know how instrumental they were in it, but they were cheering on Disney cutting ties with him. Right. I can't remember if they actually reached out to Disney before Disney had done it. But either way, way back at the first Adpocalypse, they were cheering the downfall of PewDiePie and look, I don't like the ADL. I think they're a bunch of dumbass shitheads. It's another one kind of like the Southern Poverty Law Center. They served a purpose at one time, but they've gotten very they're letting politics run things now, and fuck them. But I don't give a fuck who PewDiePie gives his money to. Watch him or don't.
There's also a controversy going on again in the Animu community, because there's a character in the new show Demon Slayer that I've been talking about quite a bit, who everybody is like, that's my waifu, because she's adorable and shit. And naturally, as a lot of other characters happen, if a character is young, like FBI investigation young, what a lot of artists tend to do is they will draw that character as an adult, and 90% of the time it's like a lewd. And there's an artist right now being criticized and being called a pedophile because they drew this younger character as an adult. And I'm like, not really sure how to feel about this one. I'm more inclined to believe that if they went through the effort to draw this character as an adult, then they clearly are not trying to sexualize kids. But the narrative that's trying to be pushed is, well, she was a kid and they drew her as older, which means that while she was a kid, they had to have found her attractive, which is why they drew this art in the first place. But I'm like, every woman that is an adult that you find attractive was a kid at some point. So I'm just like, this is a weird one. Like, I don't understand why this has become an issue now, because this has been around for a very long time. Like people taking characters that are small or younger in the show and drawing adult versions of them. Like that's been around for a long time. But now this conversation is coming up, and I'm just outside of the anime thing, because I know you guys can't really resonate with anime per se. What do you think about this in general?
Sounds stupid.
That's
all I got. It's like it's a cartoons, it's drawings, it's whatever.
So they're drawing the what? I don't understand exactly what's going on.
They're drawing adult versions of classically young characters in sexually suggestive situations, and somehow this is morally corrupt.
Yeah. So say, for example, if you took Teen Titans, like the kid version of Starfire, and you drew her as a sexy adult, people are saying that this is
okay. So their problem is that they're drawing them as sexy adults.
Yeah.
That's fucking stupid. That's my official answer. Yeah, that's dumb.
And subpar, what is this anime called? Demon Slayer. Is it good? It is excellent. It is one of the best anime to come out this season, and you should be watching it if you're into anime. It's really good. But yeah, this is where it's coming from, because the character in there, she's young, and people are drawing older versions of her, and there's some people coming out the woodwork like, wow, this is just pedophilia. I'm like, she's an adult. They drew an adult in the picture. I don't know, man. People are weird. People are really weird, or they just need to find something to be upset about. Like it has to be something every day, Try to keep things fresh. But that's what's going on with that shit. Let me see. I know I saw something else. There was one other thing. Oh, well, this ain't really fucketry, but somebody put up a post that says rodents in San Francisco are becoming abnormally aggressive due to methamphetamine being flushed down the Bay Area toilets and entering the water system. And there's a video of this cat running for its life from this mouse or rat in this house. I saw that. So this cat is like, oh shit.
Fucking rat chasing a cat, and the cat's like 3 times bigger than it, at least.
Yeah, I was just like, you don't see this shit every day. Meth rats.
Meth rats, not even once.
Yeah. Oh, and the last thing, Tariq Nasheed, which we haven't talked about in a while. You guys remember that video that I showed you of the little baby that got excited to see his friend or whatever?
Yeah.
Everybody was posting it around as kind of a, here's Tariq Nasheed's take on it. Several people have sent me this heartwarming, that's in quotes, by the way, video of 2 kids hugging. People have been trying to make the story go viral in order to create a racial harmony narrative. But this is just a Trojan horse to promote the white male adoptive parents of this black kid. So, apparently, the black kid is adopted by 2 gay men. And that's what he thinks this is really about. Nobody knew that. This is probably news to everybody in here who this kid's parents were. Because I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
What does it matter?
Well, because, I don't know. There's some weird subset of black activists who are against white people adopting black kids.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and he's one of them.
Because we don't want any race mixing or nothing, I guess.
Yeah, it's something like that, but also like this is why we have a lot of. One of the narratives is this is why there's so many coons around. They're being raised by the enemy.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
And I'm just like, I'm sorry. How many black kids have you adopted? You know, the more you adopt, the less you'd have to worry about getting raised by the enemy, right? Oh, you don't have any? Okay, let's shut the fuck up. But yeah, that's all I found today.
Scribbles?
I don't think I have much that we haven't already covered in some fashion. Chaos Eve hit 300 subscribers on her channel.
Congrats, Eve.
Nice.
Yeah, Andrew Yang's campaign manager just called to tell me, Sam Stein, whoever that is, that at tomorrow night's debate, Yang will be doing, quote, something no presidential candidate has ever done before in history, unquote. He declined to go further than that.
Telling the truth?
My guess is, and it's just a wild guess, that he will announce his running mate ahead of actually being nominated. Because I don't think that's ever really happened this early on in an election or at a debate before when you still have a whole bunch of candidates. That's my guess. Could be something completely different. I have no idea. He could show up and say, I'm giving all my money away to ADL. I don't know. But, you know.
He had tweeted out a little while ago, and this may be tongue-in-cheek because of that there's no dress codes at a debate.
Oh, see, now my other joking guest, I forget who it was, somebody else who also posted that. I said he's going to come out dressed in a suit made of $1 bills.
Oh, I was thinking a dress, man. If he comes out in a dress,
the other one was an AP story. Florida woman who claimed to be a psychic fortune teller sentenced to 3 years and 4 months in prison for taking $1.6 million from a Texas woman to remove a curse from her family. And I said, yeah, but is the family cursed anymore?
Well, how do they know the curse wasn't lifted?
That's what I mean. That's what I was saying.
Look, you give that much money to a fucking fortune teller, it's not fraud. You're an idiot. Cody Fry, thank you so much. I was nice to Satsu when I sent him money. I was mean when I sent Scribe money. I'll retain the balance with money for Ranting Monkey. Satsu, you're one of a kind. Take that how you will.
Well, FYI, I'm a glass half empty kind of person, so
he really is. I'm sorry, Scribbles. You were saying?
So an ad came out for some new show that's coming out on Apple TV. It's just called SEEC. It's some story where in the future all humans have lost the ability to see, and then of course a child is born that can see, and now this becomes like a big thing. And the whole concept, thinking about it for 5 seconds makes me go, this is stupid. But I said, I have no idea if this will be any good, but with The Quiet Place and Bird Box and now this, I can just imagine every writer's room trying to figure out how can we turn the sense of smell into something visually dramatic and action-oriented? Because they are running the gamut. Also, I want to thank everybody, and there were several, who sent their interpretations of the Three Amigos with our faces on them. I got like Hearst Gravegear, Random American, Delahazed. I know there was at least one or two others. Lots and lots of people were took on the challenge of, I can make a Three Amigos theme picture. I'm going to try to find a way to use all of them Friday in a rotating slideshow and try to give try to put a little note of credit as to who did what for Friday show. So that's my intent. I will see if I think OBS can do rotating slideshows. I think. Yeah. Okay, so I'll figure that out, and that'll be Friday's theme with everybody's efforts on that. So thank you so much. And otherwise, tomorrow night is the debate, as mentioned. I am going, like I did last time, I'm going to do the first hour in a live commentary track for the debate. So if you would like to join me on my channel tomorrow night at 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern time, I'll be running through the first hour of the debate, just kind of yelling at my screen. I'll probably do it through StreamYards because I can't do it through OBS without having the audio of the debate come through. Except I haven't done StreamYards yet. You can set up an account pretty quickly with that, can't you?
Oh yeah, it's real quick.
Okay, I'll do that tomorrow. Then get that squared away. Anyway, that's all I've got for Fuck a Tree and or programming note.
And Corey, thank you. I just noticed how much that was. That is very, very generous of you, sir. Holy crap. I was looking at it on Streamlabs or StreamYard where it doesn't actually have the coloring.
Mm-hmm.
I just see that there's a little dollar amount there, and damn, that's very generous of you, sir. Thank you so much. Let's see. We are on my turn for Fuck a Tree, right? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we are. Kamala, what are you doing?
Who cares?
Kamala got herself in trouble apparently over this weekend, which I'm actually surprised that this is the first I heard about it. At one of her little rallies, someone yelled out that the president's agenda was mentally retarded.
Oh, Jesus.
To which Harris laughed, twice calling the man's remarks well said.
Oh no, she endorsed retarded.
She did.
No.
Now she insists she didn't hear the comment. Sinatra's talking to you in chat there, Scribbles.
Oh, sorry, I don't have the window open. 1 second.
No, you're fine. I was just letting you know.
Yes, Sinatra. Set me up tomorrow, and I will join you. There you go.
Harris maintained that she is sorry. Quote, I didn't hear the words the man used in that moment, but if I had, I would have stopped and corrected him. I'm sorry.
Well said for something I didn't hear. Well, you're taking an awful gamble saying that, Kamala.
Yeah, it's like when you don't hear somebody, but you just say yes. You know, somebody will say something to you and you're like, what? And they repeat it and you're like, what? And so the third time you're just like, yeah, sure. And then later you found out, you offered him your wife or something. All right. You got to be careful. If you don't hear something, make sure you clarify. For the record, I don't think that she didn't hear it. I don't think for a moment that she didn't know what he said. You know what you did, bitch. And this led me to, I have a conspiracy theory.
Do you?
I think that the campaign of Kamala Harris is being run by Joe Biden.
I'm hearing two voices
He said he'd be right back. Sure.
All right. Okay.
I think Joe Biden is secretly running Kamala Harris's campaign.
No, that's a bad move on Kamala's part.
Yeah, especially considering we had a poll that came out today that for the first time actually showed Warren beating Biden.
This is my surprised face. Biden is really losing steam. I mean, it's such a boring competition so far.
The weird thing is he picked up some compared to the last time we saw the polls. She's at 27, him at 26, and Sanders is the one who dropped crazy. He's down to like 15%. Depending on which part of the poll you look at. But among registered voters, Biden and Warren are actually tied at 26. I was like, ooh. But there was another part of that poll that was really interesting that shows even most Democrats think Trump is likely to be reelected.
Jesus.
Yeah. Likely or very likely combined, it was something like, I want to say 56% of Democrats. So yeah, it was interesting. What else? Was there anything else? I want to cover this real quick. I talked about it on Monkey in the Morning, and I'll talk about it again here. Yesterday, after we got off here and I went to set up my Monkey in the Morning, I ran into a problem with something and where I ended up having to go dig through my emails, right? Which I rarely go through my fucking email. But I came across a scam email. And guys, you can always tell a scam email. Well, a very good way to find this kind of scam email is they will ask you for a password. I cannot stress this enough. Never, ever, ever give out your password to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Any company that contacts you asking for your password is not the company you think it is. This came from, what was it? YouTube. What did it say? YouTube support.
Yeah, did it have a .ru at the end?
Oh, I didn't even pay attention.
Oh yeah, if the email address is a .ru, I got that like a few weeks ago and I tweeted out about it. It's like, you need to take this survey because your account is spamming too many things. Please send us the address of your account and your password and your username so we can verify this and make sure that the spam stops coming from your channel. Like,
Yeah, this is it. I got that one.
It's a baby.
Hey guys, sorry. I had to grab her because she pissed all over Squishy.
Oh no, baby.
There you go, Mama. There you go.
Baby.
But yeah, for all of those out there who've ever thought about, hey, I got this email. It says I have to give my password. Never do that. That is how the DNC ended up getting compromised.
I know. I'm sorry.
She does not sound happy with you.
She should be happy with herself. Like, I went out there, like, all over Squishy, all over the couch, the floor. I'm just like,
messy baby.
As a father, let me tell you, Scotch guard. Scotch guarding our furniture. When we got our furniture, they're like, for a couple $100 extra, we can Scotch guard them for him. Like, ooh, well, all right, go ahead. And it's never been a big deal. And then we got grandchildren, because by the time we did it, my children, I think my youngest at the time was 10. So like, they were careful on stuff. But then the babies came around. They started pooping and peeing and throwing food everywhere. Like, that's one of the smartest things we ever did. Anyway, guys, it is your time. Questions, comments, concerns, throw them into the chat now. Remember, lots of question marks for questions, lots of exclamation points if you have statements for us. Those just make it so we know you're talking to us and not each other. Don't abuse it, though. Thank you, Terry, who says, hi, I'm the official password inspector. Just send me your passwords and I'll make sure they're up to code. Yeah, that's the kind of person who's full of shit. Oh, look at the baby.
Oh, little baby. Who's the little baby?
She's staring at me like, it got all over. You should have seen her face.
I'm going to put it on Satsu, so now everybody just thinks we're all one black man and a baby. Have any of you watched Carnival Row yet? Don't even know.
Everything I heard of, well, I don't have Amazon Prime, and I also heard that it was pretty boring, actually.
Satsu, have you watched it, Carnival Row?
No, I haven't seen it.
Lords in chat, where were you when the planes hit the towers? I was actually sleeping on the couch.
I was in school.
I was visiting home from college, and I was sleeping in my old bedroom, but it had been cleaned out, and I was sleeping on an air mattress. And my mother walks into the room, just absolutely like, you know the phrase "pale as a ghost" kind of thing. Mm-hmm. She looked absolutely in shock, and I didn't know what was going on, so I pushed myself up on my elbow, and I'm looking up at her like, "What's wrong?" And she says, "They just blew up the World Trade Center and the Pentagon." And the very first words out of my mouth, as I was just becoming kind of geopolitically aware at that point in my life, the very first words out of my mouth were, "Well, it took them long enough." And I said that because of just the sense of inevitability that we weren't immune to something horrible happening to us. But that sort of casual cynicism died away pretty quick as soon as I actually saw the pictures coming out of New York. But yeah, that was unfortunately my first reaction. It was very, very cynical, very pragmatic, but that didn't last long. So.
Random says, what is your password? Well, like any smart person, I have many of them. I have so many passwords, I forget what they are and often have to use password reset.
There you go.
My password is password.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
but it's not spelled the right way, just to fuck with you.
Baby.
Hold up, let's switch over to
Oh, poor baby.
She's like, haha.
Statistics says, Ranting Monkey, like you still have money in your PayPal account emails. Log in through this link and see how much. Yeah, right. Exactly. There's so many of those things that people fall for, and I get why people fall for them, but just don't. What's Scribe's worst laugh?
What's my what?
Worst laugh.
Worst laugh.
Do people actually have like a variety of laughs that they rank?
I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I have no way of knowing how to answer that question. Sorry.
Are you looking forward to a new larval human to spoil, Ranting Monkey? Yes, I am. I'm actually really sad because this is going to be the first one that's born away from me. I'm not going to get to see her very much when she's really little, and that actually saddens me. I might just go move in with my daughter for a while. How many children are too many children to have?
I think maybe 6. 6 is too much.
Yeah.
I think it depends on how well you can take care of them.
Yeah. Although I've never met a person who had 6 kids that wasn't rich or living off the system. So it's either one or the other.
Yeah, I mean, what's that one? They had 21 kids or some shit like that, and they had their own TV show and everything.
Oh, yeah, 21 and counting or something.
Yeah, as long as you're taking care of your own kids, have as many as you want.
Mm-hmm. Pete said, for me, 1 is too many.
For some people, that is too many. Which season of Jessica Jones was the best in your opinion, Scribe?
The best? Probably the first season. I mean, that's like, you know, what's the best kick in the nuts I've ever had? You know, it's like, yeah, as compared to definitely season 2 was certainly the worst. Season 3 was not as bad as 2, but it wasn't as good as 1. But 1 was bad. That's season 1 is the best season, quote unquote.
They're garbage. How about that?
Yeah. Short version.
Angry Illinoisan says, this can distract me from 7 Days to Die. It's such a cute baby. She really is. Look at that baby. That little baby. Look how smashing right now. What's that?
She's smashing right now. She was hungry.
Look how small she looks next to Satsu's hand, you guys. If you see her when he's holding her, it's really noticeable. Look at that little head next to that big ass hand of his.
Oh, baby.
She just missed on Squish. I'm sure her tank is empty right there. Oh my god. Baby. Squishy is mad. She's
so mad.
She's offended. She's just like, how could you do this to me? Excuse me?
All right, lay her on the floor and pee on her. She can't fight back. Don't do that.
Wait a minute.
What the fuck did you just say?
It's nothing.
It took me a second to understand.
Yeah. I was like, are you what?
What happened?
Maybe that might have been one of the worst things I've ever heard you say.
That's saying something. Literally.
He said, just lay her on the floor and pee on her. She won't be able to do nothing about it.
Oh, let's see. Nuts is at home with a 2-year-old and a month-old baby.
Holy
Monkey shit. Wants Satsu to piss on a baby.
God, he wants Satsu to do it.
What the fuck?
And I said, don't do that. Y'all didn't listen to the whole thing.
Okay.
How long after 9/11 till you masturbated? Oh, we weren't.
Jesus Christ.
We're supposed to stop in between?
What?
They caught me in the act. I was like, well, I gotta finish.
Damn it. Hold that plane up for just a minute. No, I don't know. It wasn't something I thought about when it came to masturbating, man.
Right. Like, oh boy, I want to rub one out, but you know, that thing happened, so.
The only thing that has ever stopped me from masturbating, and I've mentioned this before, is that when my mom died, people told me that your mom will always be watching you. I'm like, oh, it did. That it actually took me like a couple of days to work up to it. Like, Mom, I'm gonna be under the blanket. Don't peek. Lord's Night, do you think you could ever be a working
What?
Do you think there could ever be a working communistic society if it were supported by a robotic workforce, robo-slaves, supporting humans? No.
No.
The whole idea of communism relies on human behavior not existing, and it will still exist.
Yeah.
Robert says, from Wisconsin, fuck you, Michigan. Take that, monkey. You're not wrong. I mean, we get fucked by Wisconsin and Canada all the time, man. I don't like either of y'all. Lords of Night, has anyone bought or played Gears 5? And if so, what do you think? I've only ever played like one round of multiplayer Gears 1.
She burped.
And that was enough. I haven't played anymore. Satsu, you don't have Gears 5, do you?
No, I don't like. Well, I can't say I don't like Gears of War. I just I've never really had an Xbox, so and the time I did play it, I was just like, eh.
Yeah,
No, sweetest.
Baby.
Oh, sorry.
Oh.
She's like, that light is way too bright, man.
She's like, I don't want to say hi. I want to finish eating. She burped, so now it's time to finish up. Oh, are you done? Oh, she's done. She's done. Oh, she pooping. Okay, hold on. I'll be back.
Right there. Lords of Night, have you ever been interested in a friend's significant other? Of course.
Yes, that has happened.
Hey, Scribe, are you looking forward to roasting Monkey?
Has that been scheduled yet? Or are you promoting cannibalism like that Swedish scientist?
I bet I would taste good roasted.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No, I was done.
Cynical Lindsay says the Duggars. Yeah, I think that's them.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and didn't he like get found with like child porn or something?
I don't know. I know there was some controversies with them, but they're not somebody I followed. Like John and Kate +8. I used to follow that because I'm like, this is gonna blow up and I'm gonna enjoy it because I hated them. Absolutely.
And you were right.
Yeah. Look at the shitting grin on Satsu's face. He is one proud and happy father. Indeed.
When he's not pissing on his kid anyway.
Want to stop masturbating? May offer to sell you gentlemen this ingenious invention called the clap trap.
What? Is that a Borderlands reference?
That's the only place I know claptrap from.
Yeah.
I'm back, guys.
Unless you're talking about like the clap, and that means something. I don't know.
Fuck you, Monk. You gave me the hiccups because of that baby joke. I don't know what you're talking about.
I am also whoever said that. Yes, I am extremely happy to be a dad.
Monkey, how often do you think about peeing on infants? I don't think about it. What is wrong with you people? You guys are weird. Have you guys seen the latest AOC Homan exchange over ice where AOC had to be shown how to use her gavel as Homan berated her?
What?
I have no idea what that. Harbos, if you have something like that about that, send it to me on the Twitter, man. I'd be interested. You know me. You know I like laughing at that dumb bitch. But no, I haven't seen anything about that. I can't believe she had the nerve to ask him any questions again.
Yeah.
You'd have thought she'd be like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna be there. I've got myself a cold." Satsu, are traps gay?
Sure.
Yes, they are. Well, no. Them and the men they have sex with are gay. Claptrap's new voice actor sucks. From what I heard of it, it sounded pretty much the same.
Yeah, it didn't sound super different to me. Like the way that they say the words is a little bit different, but they kind of nailed the voice and stuff. So
I mean, if they make claptrap sound better, it's not going to hurt my feelings. Because fuck, I hated claptrap.
I'm just excited for everybody else, especially Tina.
I'm interested to see what they do with her, man. Because she's years older now, so I wonder how grown up they're going to make her. You know, like if they and I don't mean like actual physical years, but like how much they mature her. Because
Yeah,
part of her appeal was how just insane she was.
yeah, and her insanity coupled with her, childlike innocence is what made her cool. Because she was like, "I will blow you up," and then apologize about it later.
Right. Whoa. Lords Almighty, what are your thoughts on alcohol made from ramen? I would try it. This is what happens. See, sometimes I say things out loud and they come back and bite me in the ass.
Like peeing on a baby.
I don't know what I didn't say you should pee on a baby. I said you could. I didn't think you I never suggested you should. That's not so. I just said you could lay her on the floor and pee on her if you so chose, which is not a good idea because that should be illegal in all 50 states and the Republic of China. Where was that? Would you ever buy a car just for your nipple? How big do you think my nipples are?
I don't know.
Thoughts on former ICE director Homan running immigration? I think that would be funny as shit. Is he up for it?
I don't know.
That would be funny as shit. And for no other reason than it would make lots of Democrats' head explode. I don't know how great of a job he did at ICE, and he's worked in other law enforcement as well. I don't know enough about the man. The only thing I really know about him was that exchange he had with fucking Cortez that time where he just lit her ass up. Made her look like a moron.
More so?
Well, yeah. That's the one where she was whining about
I know what it was. Yeah, I remember.
Lords, who in the squad do you think will write an autobiography? All four of them.
Yeah. Ghost written for most of them, probably.
If those aren't in the works already, I would be very shocked. Are there any days where you feel guilty jerking it? For example, I don't do Christmas. What, you don't have a jerk for baby Jesus?
Oh my God.
What? Is that not right? No, there's no times. Look, do I ever feel guilty jerking it? No, I can't say that I do.
I mean, that time I did it in church, I felt pretty guilty, but no. No, I don't feel guilty because I don't know, man. I've never done it in a situation where I needed to feel guilty about it.
Oh, look, I'm not saying I ain't jerked it in some situations where it was probably inappropriate. But I wasn't caught, and there was I don't feel guilty about touching my wiener. I like touching my wiener. Ever since I realized that it could feel that good to touch my wiener. Harbo says, tweeted it, Monkey. Thank you. I saw the story there. I'll check it out later. Like I said, I'm going to bed after this, so I'll check it out right before Monkey in the morning when I finally wake up. Are claptraps gay? So very gay. I'm angry that claptrap is not killable in game. I'm not disagreeing with you, Random. However, they don't let you really kill any of the primary characters. That part is all story driven. So, I'm mad they won't let you bang the fat chick. I think that would be cool. Men are too broke for women to marry, and women are the victims? ? Oh yeah, we read that yesterday, didn't we?
Yep.
And it's not necessarily just that the men are too broke. It's that women got standards and shit. Go marry yourself a broke dude. Go get yourself a sugar baby dude. Follow-up question to Ebony's. Lords, if the squad do write an autobiography, will you do a live reading featuring Polydub? Well, Polly doesn't like talking about the squad. He finds them insignificant. Would I do a live reading of that? No, because it would be that would be illegal. That's copyrighted material. I'd have to wait, 78 years for something like that to fall out of public or into public domain, some shit like that?
Well, granted that the rights aren't renewed by the state over and over again.
True. So, do you remember the Alamo? That's that car company, right?
Yeah, that's what it is, Monkey.
I remember the Alamo. I wasn't there. Quinn asked me how my bacon stick is. It's tasty. At least that's what your mom told me. Lords tonight. Now that Drunkle and Sin have Ghastly, seems as Scribe is the bear who would get what he goes. Whoa.
What?
Seems as Scribe is the bear who would you get. Oh. Seems as seeing. Okay, I think what they're saying. Seeing is as Scribe is the bear, who would you get when he goes? Aha. I think I cracked that code there, Dom. I think they're asking me and Satsu that if you ever left, who would you get to replace you?
I can't answer that question, obviously, so you go ahead.
Oh, Squeetus.
There you go. And she approves, apparently.
All right, she's sorry about that, guys.
Oh, you're fine. Where were you when they built the ladder to heaven? I was watching the South Park episode as it played.
Yeah, that episode is funny.
It is. It's a great one. I love when the Japanese build theirs, and like the Japanese have finally built their ladder to heaven, and they switch over, and you can see the clouds hanging on strings and the sun down at the back.
That shit is ridiculous.
What if the baby just got stung by a jellyfish? What? Oh, to pee on him? Well, then, yeah, that would be an acceptable.
Oh, for crying out loud. Now they're trying to come up with scenarios where it's okay to pee on a baby.
Well, in that case, it would be.
You guys are just weird. You know that? All you.
No, look, I didn't say you should pee on a baby. I'm saying in that instance, it would be okay. Mr. Napoli asks, where were you 18 years ago on this day, and how old were you? I was, like I say, in my living room. And, God, how old was I at the time? What's 44 minus 18? 26? I think my math is right there.
I was like 10.
I was 22.
Wow, chat just jumped there. Whoa. There we go. Jerk it twice on Mother's Day. Never jerk it thinking about your mom, but it is okay to jerk on Mother's Day. What is a question you want to ask today's teenagers? Nothing. I don't want to talk to those people. Gentlemen?
Why skinny jeans?
Why buy jeans that look like they're already destroyed?
Data says you love your wiener more dipped in ranch, right, Monk? My wiener, I don't dip in ranch. I will eat wieners dipped in ranch, but not on people. They have to be hot dogs. Lords, why did Monk say that Ilhan Omar was a lesbian at the beginning of the show? What?
I must have missed that part.
I don't remember ever saying Ilhan Omar was a lesbian. He said, quote, she was hiding in the closet for a few days. What?
If Monkey said that, I do not recall it, so I don't know.
Oh, saying she was saying she should hide out in the closet. I don't know. It's something about her hiding and stuff. I'm sure I said that.
Okay.
P doesn't do anything for a jelly sting. Trust me on that one, says Mike. Maybe you didn't have the right P, Mike. And actually, doesn't it only work on certain kinds of jellyfish?
I don't know.
Kathy says, what is your favorite history lesson taught to you when you were in school?
I don't know.
My favorite history lesson, my teacher took me into this small closet and she had me touch this really soft spot.
I had a teacher who the only thing I remember is we were talking about the Vietnam War, and he was actually a Vietnam vet, and he had some interesting perspectives on it. And I remember at one point, one of the kids in the class, of course, asked him, "Did you ever kill anybody?" And this teacher was always very sort of, bright and happy and chipper and everything. As soon as that question was asked, his face just went completely stone, and he said, "I don't talk about that." Yeah. It's like, okay.
Real quick, I'm sorry. Somebody just asked me about the title, and I'd forgotten completely about this. Thank you for doing that, Faithless. No, I didn't. California passed some new laws. It's going to affect Uber and Lyft and ride-sharing services. Now, Uber's come out and said, this isn't going to affect us. And the woman who wrote the law went, bitch, please. Basically, what they're going to do is require all of these services to stop treating people as independent contractors and make them all employees. And one of the reasons people like to work for these companies is one of the biggest reasons is the flexibility of it. And if Gavin Newsom signs this as is expected, that's going away. That's going away. And I read this article in New York Times this morning where they talked to a law school professor who said, I don't really see why they would need to do this. There's no real reason that they would need to change the flexibility part. Here's why, sweetie. Because once you make them an employee and you have to give them a per hour pay, you can only have so many people on the clock per hour when you're not making very much money. It's the same reason all service industries and retail industries don't just let people come in whenever the hell they want to, because you have to have people to cover the busy times. And at the slow times, you send people home or you don't have them scheduled at that time. When they're independent contractors, they get paid, as they go for each, ride and everything. But in this case, what they're going to do is, end up basically killing it. Dom says, doesn't that defeat the whole purpose of Uber? Yep. It really does. And it's going to be a horrible thing for them out there. Good job, lawmakers. And that was a professor or what? Yes, she was a professor. She's an associate professor, I believe it is. At I forgot what university it was, but yeah, she's a law professor. I'm like, why the fuck would you ask a law professor about this? At the very least, go ask a fucking business professor. But yeah, so that's what the title was about, and it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. We got time for one more question. Let's see. We'll pick one at random here. Oh, and this comes from random. Wasn't there a lawsuit regarding FedEx Ground that already set a precedent that they couldn't do this kind of thing? I don't know. I don't. So that was a bad question for our last one. Mata, so was this pushed by the taxi cab union or something? No, it's pushed by so I don't know if there was a backing to it. I just know there's this one chick in the California Assembly who wrote this, and she pushed for it real hard. And I know there's some Uber drivers and stuff who think this is a great idea, and you guys are not. You ever hear that phrase? Be careful what you wish for.
Mm-hmm.
There is a reason that there's a reason you walk into a Walmart and go, how come they have all these empty registers? And it's a business thing that if you haven't run the business or been in the management side of it, you'd be like, that they just don't like to have people here. Anyhow, with that, guys, it is 11 o'clock. I'm tired, and I'm sure Scribbles is too, and Satsu's got to go milk a baby. Wait, no, feed him. You got to do something with a baby. Anyhow, Chad, thank you guys for coming and hanging out with us. Thank you so much for your generous donations tonight. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate it. You guys complete me. Satsu, Scribbles. Before we leave, Scribbles. Are you going to be just on Sinatra's channel tomorrow? He mentioned dual streaming. Did you pay attention to that?
Yeah, I have to talk to Sinatra. I haven't tried that before, but hopefully we'll you can watch me and Sinatra on my channel, and me and Sinatra on his channel, depending on who you love more.
There you go. Follow on Twitter to make sure you know where to go, guys.
Yep.
Satsu, you're not doing any gaming tonight, are you?
No. Squishy is literally standing over me right now, like grab her.
Take the baby.
So both of you, Satsu and Scribbles, thank you guys so much for joining me. Everybody, your lives make us sad. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Don't pee on babies.
You say that now.